Welcome to Brown Girls Can, the podcast where black and brown brilliance meets real talk. This podcast is your safe space to be seen, heard, and of course, celebrated. I'm your host, Shateria, the founder and visionary behind the Brown Girls Can brand and movement. Every podcast episode, we're gonna laugh loud and dive deep into the stories, careers, and bold dreams of women who are redefining what's possible. Let's get into today's episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Brown Girls Can, the podcast. Y'all know I'm your host, Shateria, and I'm joined by a special guest who's from out of town, who's doing big things. Come on and tell the people who you are.
Yes. I am Latoya Whitfield, and I am a purpose coach and also the founder of a Queenpreneur's plan. So
Yes,
I am so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited you decided to come through. You have to tell us about how the event went today. How was it?
Oh, it was very good. I was actually a guest speaker at Changing the Narrative with Coach Rosie, and it was amazing because I talked about one of my friends named Amy, but I won't even tell everybody who Amy is because you just have to either be in the room or you have to book me.
I know that's right. So we'll get into all the things. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're doing big things out in Huntsville and beyond. So how many states are you in?
So 6 states. So we want to make sure that we're targeting women in the Southeast. So excited to be expanding to 6 states. So that also includes Alabama.
That's amazing. Clap it up, y'all, in the audience. Thank you. Y'all know we sip on the podcast, and so she preferred red blend, and so that's what we're sipping. So we always cheers to a good episode, so we're going to cheers. Cheers.
Very tasty.
Yes. Okay, so y'all know we have a new game coming out called Brown Girls Can Combo, so we're going to play.
Ooh.
This is for the Ultimate Girls Night In. There are different categories. Let's see if you want to pick your category. Code switching, dating and relationships, sex and sensuality, family and legacy, sisterhood and friendship, business and money moves, professional goals and purpose. I think that's what you might want to do. Okay, let's find. Let's find those. So these are on our website, browngirlscan.org. For pre-order, they will be available for our festival, Brown Girls Can, the festival happening October 5th through the 12th here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right, so we found the professional goals and purpose cards. Here they are. So you pick one, and then I'll pick one. Go for it.
Oh, okay. What do you say to the version of you that stayed small to be accepted?
Ooh.
This is the question for me, I would say let me just sit back and think about her. And she was so precious, yes she was. But she was content with being very successful by the world standard, having the degrees, having the husband, having the house, and by society standards, you should be happy because you have all of the things that they said you should accomplish.
Yeah.
But by the standards that God has set, He told me who I was supposed to be and who I was born to be. But the world made me forget who I am. And so for the girl that stayed small, I want her to know that you doing it and you are that girl.
Okay.
And so I don't regret the journey, but I'm excited to be able to share with other people that may look at themselves and say, no, it's not possible for me. But through all the experiences that I have had, I'm here to tell anybody that it's possible, because I come from a small town of 800 people. Poverty, one grocery store, one gas station, $1 store, one school, and so one bank.
That's crazy.
One. So when you come from a place like that, you stay small because your surroundings are so small.
Right.
So I would say to her, girl, I'm so glad you did what you were supposed to do by making God proud, not the world.
All right. Let's see what mine. Okay, the one that I picked said, what's your dream title or role? Dream title or role? I always tell people that I want to be paid to exist. I want to be paid to create and paid to exist, and to do what I know I'm supposed to be doing in my sleep, like to get paid in my sleep, to get paid for building up other people. I know that if I trace back all of my careers, it's been something pertaining to building. So like my last business I was building actual props for parties. I was building different atmospheres when I was in the event industries, the event rentals industry, I'm sorry. And so it's just all about building. And so now I'm in this phase where I know I'm called to help build women, teens and girls. And so, what is my dream title? I don't even know if that's a title for that though. I just know that like, that's my dream job, is to get paid to create and exist. I want to get paid to breathe.
I think the title may just be creative.
Yeah. So that is that one. We may play again. I'm going to leave these out, these ones. So tell us from the beginning, where did we start? How did a Queenpreneur's Plan come to be?
Where do we start? How much time do we have? If I had to find a starting point, I would most definitely say a Queenpreneur's Plan started when I didn't see us celebrated in a lot of spaces. In 2021, I went to over 40 networking events, and I did not see Black women being celebrated. And if a Black woman was celebrated, it was only because she was at a certain level where they felt that she was worthy of being celebrated. Now, it's not to take away from the Black women that have been celebrated. They should have been celebrated before that.
Right.
But I felt as if Black women are not celebrated until they're meeting a certain level of wealth or a certain level of accomplishment in the eyes of what we call success. So when I started to see that, I was like, you know what? Why don't we start a community where we're celebrating Black women just because they are who they are, because they are great, because they're operating in their God-given purpose, not because they're making a certain amount of money, but because they're making an impact in the world. So I started a Queenpreneur's Plan, and it started with people that believed in me, like ambassadors who were investing in my business. And then God gave me the vision of the Dare to Dream Awards, which is the hugest event in Huntsville, Alabama. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
And the Dare to Dream Awards was a way to be able to find a day where we bring all of these elements together to celebrate women. And when you think about the Dare to Dream Awards, you think about women being able to be celebrated because they are creative, because they give back to their community, because they are visionaries, not the standard of like, oh my gosh, you did something in tech, which tech is great. But a lot of times when we are thinking about creative industries, creatives are not always celebrated.
That's true.
People are always trying to find a way, how can you come in here and do this for free? Nobody wants to acknowledge that you need a creative in every space that you have. You need food. You need photography. You need videography. You need every piece of a creative, but sometimes it's the most under like it's just not celebrated and undervalued piece. And so when I thought about bringing a Queenpreneurs plan together, I thought about how can I celebrate and give back to the Black woman. But it started with Black women, but also what I noticed is that when I was only promoting Black women, there was not really the support that was coming through for just the Black woman. It proved my point that once you become an adult as a Black woman, you don't really get the same support as if when you were a kid.
Yeah.
So I went back. I said, how do I solve this problem? Go back to the kids, the teenagers, and the youth in college. Because it starts in your mind, and if no one has the momentum to celebrate Black women, then by the time that, hey, well, I'm grown, nobody gave to me, nobody celebrated me, and I think sometimes that becomes the mentality, and that's why we have this crab in the bucket mentality that once I make it, I don't need to reach back and give to somebody else. And so a Queenpreneurs plan not only celebrates Black women, but also goes back to give to young girls in the arts with scholarships, and then HBCU students with grants towards their businesses and business mentorship. So overall, that's how it started, because I saw that there was a gap. 61% of Black women self-fund. Why is that number so high? Yeah. And so I knew that a Queenpreneurs plan could solve that problem.
That is amazing. Yes. And so you started it in
I started in 2022.
Wow.
Yes.
You have done a lot.
Yes. I actually started off with more coaching, and I had my first event in 2021, sold out in 7 days, and I actually started using the word Queenpreneur. And everybody kept saying Queenpreneur, and I was like, maybe this is a thing. Like, people really like this name. Yeah. And I went and prayed about it, and I asked God, like, what are you telling me on this journey? And he allowed me to start being in spaces where I didn't see Black women being celebrated, and that's kind of how it all started.
That is amazing. And 6 states. What are the states?
So we have Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and who am I missing?
Florida,
yes. Yeah. Florida, we ain't forget about you, I promise you. It's sorry.
What do you see next for a Queenpreneurs plan?
Next, what I see for a Queenpreneurs plan is, honestly, the expansion into other states. I think that is important, because by the time I connect with other ladies, they say, wow, like, I wish that we had something like this, or I think this is amazing that Black women are being celebrated in this way. And so I see being able to expand to other states so that women in other areas can also be celebrated, and maybe even doing a tour in not just Huntsville but in other areas. Maybe, we might bring it to Chattanooga.
Okay, come on through.
Yes.
So how can they get in touch with you to find out all the things?
Yes, so you can go to www.aqueenpreneurs.plan. Let me spell it, because so A and then Queen and then Preneur, Preneur. People never spell it right with an S. So aqueenpreneurs.plan.com. So www.aqueenpreneurs.plan.com, and you can find all things there. Dare to Dream Awards, everything will be found on that website.
That's amazing. And so Dare to Dream Awards, y'all, I was nominated. I was not expecting that. Yes. So I will be in Huntsville within the next couple of weeks. It's coming fast.
Yes, it's been a fast journey. And I mean, when I'm planning the Dare to Dream Awards, I'm like, okay, we got 3 months. I can breathe. And then before I know it, it's 2 weeks left. And I'm like, what happened? So I'm excited for September 20th, because there are so many women that are going to be celebrated. And the thing is making women feel like queens when they walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's been the biggest compliment that I received from the Dare to Dream Awards, is that people say, I haven't experienced anything quite like it.
Yeah.
And to know that women are saying, like, I haven't experienced anything quite like the Dare to Dream Awards has definitely been something that I'm proud of, because I always wanted Black women to feel valued.
Yes. What's been the most surprising thing that you've learned on the journey in starting a Queenpreneur's plan?
I would say the most surprising thing has been, I would say, getting the sponsorships, right? I think I just knew as soon as I put this out, and then I started like saying, oh my gosh, like, look at all the people we're pouring into. This is this. We're giving back. This is this. And I just would have just like known that, like, I wouldn't have had to send 50,000, 11 emails, you know, on year 4. But yet in year 4, I'm still reaching out and asking people for sponsorships. And now I'm not, I know that the effort has to come and the work has to come. But I am surprised that, you know, after 4 years, there are people that still don't know about a Queenpreneur's plan. So when you're going out and you're reaching out for sponsorships, this is the first time they've ever heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
So to know that, that's the most surprising thing, is that people have never heard of it, and then I'm still reaching out to them to solicit sponsorships. So I'm actually having to build relationships with people that are in Huntsville that have never heard of it. But I'm grateful for the journey, and I'm grateful for the people that are sponsoring, because let me tell you, to have food sponsored is the hugest blessing ever.
I know that.
You know how expensive food is?
Yes.
It's sponsored this year, and I am so grateful.
That's amazing. Yes. So shout out to the food. Who sponsored the food?
Big John's Barbecue. Thank you, Big John's Barbecue. And overall, this Jonathan Hambrick is the founder, but he has multiple brands. So he also has Lux Brew, and he helps other people start restaurants. So that says a lot about a man investing into a woman-owned business. He believes in what I'm doing, but his wife was also a nominee last year, and she won. That's crazy. And she's in the food industry as well. And she Laura's bakery. So to think about both of them collabing and coming together to make sure that we have the food we need. Even when we were doing the mixer in last year, they have another business called Lux Brew, and they sponsor food for all of my nominees, not only this year, but also last year.
That's so cool. And that says something about what you are building, that people are willing to partner with you in that way. And so that's congratulations. Congratulations. I know it is hard work. A lot of people want to hop into these kind of niches and industries and don't really understand that it's a lot of hard work.
Yes. I would say it's harder to do a Queenpreneur's plan than to actually just coach. Mm-hmm. But when God gave me the vision of a Queenpreneur's plan, I know I have to stick to it, because that's what he called me to do. But it's challenging, even when you think about the challenges of what's happening in politics, where you can't say certain words. You can't specifically say, I want to help a Black woman, and then you get funded for that. And so I think that that's been very challenging, in a sense of staying close to your mission and your vision of like what God initially said. Mm-hmm. And there have been grants where I told them, no, we can't apply for that, because that doesn't align with my mission and my vision. Mm-hmm. So for me, pouring into me as a coach and a speaker, so that I can be the person that's headlining and sponsoring a Queenpreneur's plan, because I am not going to water down the people that we pour into, and that's a Black woman.
Yeah. What has been the biggest impact you've seen from like what's going on in the political climate?
Seeing women get defunded, seeing Black women get defunded, because they are actually pouring into Black women is crazy to me, because the statistics says that we're underserved. Like, the numbers don't ever lie. So to take away the resources from this community that needs this assistance and this help is just mind-boggling to me. And I think it has impacted a lot of businesses more in a negative way. But what I see from the positive side is that if we can come together as a collective, as Black women, then what God is going to provide, and He's going to make it happen. So yes, you may have gotten defunded, and granted, I have never received assistance from the government towards my business. So that may be easy for me to say. I've been feet on the ground getting sponsorships, but there are companies that want to invest in you. You are supporting Black women businesses, Black girls, HBCU, whatever. There are people that want to support Black women, and they may not always look like you. There are white women, white men, Hispanics, whatever the case may be, who believe in what we're doing, and they are allies and believe in what we're doing. So don't think that government funding is your only source.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Okay, so talk to us about the HBCU mentorship. How did that come about?
Oh my gosh. So I actually started the HBCU program because I started to think about what was life like for me as a college student. I didn't graduate from an HBCU, but I did start off at an HBCU. I started off at Jackson State University, and then I ended up transferring to the University of Mississippi, which is Ole Miss. But there were a lot of resources that I felt that we had at a PWI that I didn't necessarily see at a HBCU. And one thing that some of the differences that I would see is that when it came to like your refund checks, like HBCU students were getting their refund checks in like sometimes October. We got our refund checks in June, July. So that we could actually make sure that we had our apartment ready. We had all the things and resources, books that we needed to be effective. Those were the things that I saw. But I also thought about it from the perspective of my daughter, who is 19 years old. She just graduated from HBCU, or a community college, and she was able to go through the dual enrollment program while still in high school. Okay. So she actually is a cosmetologist at age 19. Okay, because she was able to go to the dual enrollment program at no cost. And so for me, I think it was that, making sure that students were supported, the creative students were supported, because most of the time, you're going to get resources when you want to go into a tech field, when you want to do something that's more of a common, like you want to do nursing. But where's the support for the student that says, I want to be an artist? This is what I want to do. I want to I want to be a dancer. I want to open a studio. Where are the resources for those students that are saying, I don't want to go the traditional route. I am a creative. That's who I am. My daughter has never said that she wanted to do anything else other than cosmetology. Now, thankfully, cosmetology is supported now, but I don't think that it has always been supported, And thankfully, she had her mentor is Tamika Gibson from the Hair Diagram. Shout out to Tamika Gibson, Hair Diagram. She is also a sponsor of the Dare to Dream Awards, and she mentors my daughter. And to have people that pour back into my daughter, I said, if someone is pouring back into my child, I do want to make sure that I'm doing that for other children as well, and other young adults. And so that's why I started, and we said, what can we do to make this load a little bit easier for them? And so we give them 8 weeks of business training, and then also this year we're giving a total of $3,300. So 3 students each will get $1,100 to invest towards their businesses.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I've been working so hard, sis. I need to get that money.
Oh my gosh, but you're doing good though. And so it's one HBCU.
No, so it's all HBCUs in Huntsville. So Oakwood University, Drake State, and A&M. So two of the students attend A&M, and one of them attends Drake. We did start off with a student at Oakwood, but she didn't complete the program, so hopefully she'll come back. The good thing about our programs is that we give them the flexibility to say, you know what, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And a lot of times when they go through the business training, they realize that they were just doing something that they like, not purpose. So but our goal is to eventually expand to other states as well when it comes to HBCU students, and we're also considering even going into our PWIs and like going to Black student unions.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. Okay. Yes. So for the Dare to Dream Awards, how did y'all pick who is nominated?
So it is public. So we make an announcement. The public nominates whoever they would like to see nominated. So to me, to be nominated is a blessing because somebody sees you. Somebody sees the work that you're doing and they value it. After they go through this process, they have to submit a video and tell why they feel like, they should be selected, because we want to make sure that we're just not bringing people in that just want to get an award. That's not our process. Our process is to make sure that people believe and align with our mission and our vision, and that they love community, because those are the people that we like to celebrate. And after they go through that process, the voting goes public. After going public, then the information is sent to a third party, and nobody finds out who the winner is until the night of the Dare to Dream Awards. So I don't even know who the winners are.
What?
Yes, I don't know. And I decided to do it that way because I wanted it to be organic as possible, and I wanted people to know, like, because if you don't know me and you're coming from the outside looking in, you have no reason to believe that there was a trick or anything involved in this, right? So that's why we sent it to a third party, making sure that, first of all, the third party doesn't live here in Huntsville. They live in Maryland, and they don't have any idea, connections with the nominees. They don't know anything about them. The day of, the information is sent to our production person that actually does some of the graphics, and then that person opens it the day of and starts to put the information in the system.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes. So no one knows who the winner is. Yeah, nobody on my team, not my board. Nobody knows, not even me.
Do you like it that way?
I do. Because to me, I want to be a guest too.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been to an event like the Dare to Dream Awards, and I've went to a lot of events, and I've been to events and they're nice, but I'm not saying this just because this is my event, but I've never been to an event or experienced an event like the Dare to Dream Awards.
In what way?
The impact. When you think about women on a platform where there's all of these Black women being celebrated in the same space, and then even when their name is not called, they're celebrating the other person. I think that's been the most amazing part, to seeing women still clap for you even when their name is not called. You're in the same category, but you're still clapping for them. You still stay the whole time, when your name is not called, because our process is, you are a winner even before before you were selected, you were a winner.
Right.
So the goal is for you to come there and to be celebrated, not to get an award. So even though this is an award ceremony, you are the prize and you are the award just because you walked in.
Yeah.
Just because you exist.
Yes. How many women are nominated? How many women are going to be celebrated?
27 women. Yes, 27 women will be celebrated. So regardless of who goes home with a trophy, they're still going to be winning. They're still going to be celebrated. And when the nominees arrive, the nominees will get treatment, great, amazing treatment from our staff, making sure that we are pouring into them. So, yeah, the nominees are coming to the Dare to Dream Awards to be celebrated, whether they are getting a trophy or not.
Yes. And do you remember how we met?
Oh, yes.
I guess I should have lived with that.
Yeah. Probably the most memorable interaction I've ever had. So after the Dare to Dream Awards last year, Tamra from Spark invited me on a retreat. and I happened to be roommates with Shateria.
Yeah.
And she was telling me about her brand, Brown Girls Can, at the time, and all the things she was doing. I just thought that was so amazing. And then we had this setting, and it's like something that you said to me, and we were sitting around the table. And I think the conversation was along the lines of how I celebrate other people.
Uh-huh.
And you said to me, I need you to act like you are the main character. And I think for me, I didn't realize that I wasn't acting like the main character. I think I was so busy trying to pour into every woman I saw. Like, a lot of times I wouldn't put myself on a flyer. I never thought about the celebration was also to include me.
Yourself. That's right.
Because I just wanted to make sure I pour into everybody else. And I think that says a lot about, who I am. But it also says that, hey, God created you just like them. So you can celebrate yourself
That's the truth.
along with it at the Dare to Dream Awards too. So make sure you wear your crown. And so that stuck with me. And so that's even when I was creating, I was like, okay, Toya, what can you do for you? And I kept asking God, and He gave me the vision. I'm pretty sure it was like right after we talked, and to do like a talk show. And I was like, okay, Lord, okay, I'm gonna do it. And so I just kept putting it off. And then one day I went and talked to like some of the people behind the scenes, and they loved the idea. And so to have a talk show coming on, and it actually says the Latoya Whitfield show, which is never like a headline. So, to have it be called the Latoya Whitfield show, and it's going to be starting January 2026. I'm super excited to celebrate me, because I deserve that. I am the main character.
You are. You are. Every woman watching this podcast, know that you have main character energy inside of you, and so it's up to you. Nobody else can pull that out except you. So you have to definitely hone in and put main character energy on display, because there's nobody like you. I always tell people who watch this podcast, that is your superpower, is your authentic power. You being authentic, you stepping into only what you can do. That is how you make your millions. That's how you step into your purpose. That's how you get in rooms that you never dreamed of getting into. So, yes, main character energy over here.
Period.
Main character energy. What about merch? Okay, we talked about it a little bit when you came in. Okay, so let me just tell y'all. This room is my second bedroom, and I have accumulated a lot of merch from different events, and just when I have like a shirt idea, I'm the kind of person that I have to like get it out of my head. So I just go create it. And so I'll create like maybe 2 or 3. And so that's kind of what you see over there. It's like the 2 or 3 that I kind of had an idea about. And so, yeah, it's, even with the books and everything. So what are your ideas for merch, for products coming soon for Queenpreneur's Plan?
Every time I wear a t-shirt, somebody is like, can I buy this t-shirt?
Yes.
And then I'm like, yeah, I'll make you one, And so, I think the t-shirt would definitely be, if I went the merch way, and which is coming, because I've had too many requests. A t-shirt would definitely be the first one that I would go with, because it's comfortable in there, and you can dress up a t-shirt and always make it look cute, put a little, little cut in it, put, tie it up,
Yeah.
So I definitely think a t-shirt. And I love fashion, so I might swing a little purse in there. I might put a little purse in there, but that's not gonna be no time soon.
She said, "Don't be waiting."
Yes,
don't be waiting on it. What would you tell girls who don't want to go the traditional route as far as careers go? I know you talk a lot about purpose. Where does that come from?
It comes from accomplishing all of these things, yet still feeling like I had not accomplished anything. You I worked in banking for 5 years, worked in public service for 5 years. I was making a decent income. I had a bachelor's degree, and they say you go to Ivy League school, you guaranteed a great job, but we know that's not always the case. And I had the bachelor's degree, master's degree, and we be praying for them husbands, honey. And my husband came, and I was just like, oh, Lord, like, thank you. Like, he fine. He tall. He a good, good man. He got good family values. And, I was just like, okay. So we have the kids, right? Mm-hmm. And then we get the house, credit good, both credit good. And we got a fence and a dog. So at this point, I'm thinking like, girl, you got it together. Like you have accomplished a lot, and you ain't even 30 years old.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. Like I had experienced all of these things by the time I was 30. But then later I realized that it was meaningless, because not in a sense of like not valuing it. I'm appreciative of my husband, my kids. I mean, I'm appreciative of the journey.
Yeah.
But who am I? Who am I without? I became a mom at 19. Mm-hmm. So who was I before I became a mom? I never figured out who she was, because I became a mom before I knew what purpose was. And so for me, I would say, if you don't want to go the traditional route, make the sacrifice and do the risk while you still young.
Yes.
I mean, think about it. If I had, for 10 years, I had asked God to show me what my God-given purpose was and worked on that for 10 years, there's no telling where I would be at in my craft had I had asked God to show me for the purpose. The thing is that people will say, find your purpose, but nobody takes you through the steps of what that looks like. And so that's my journey. And I always tell people, okay, here's where we start. And I always introduce my framework, which is the MAPS framework. And the M stands for mindset. The A is for attraction. P, of course, is for purpose. And S is for stewardship. Because without all of those other things surrounding purpose, then your purpose can suffocate if you don't have the tools of stewardship, if you don't have the tools of mindset, if you don't have the tools of attraction. But I started first with my Bible, and I started reading, and I started to see what God said about me. Mm-hmm. And what God said about me was more important than what society was saying about me.
Absolutely.
And so the moment I started to understand who I was, God started to speak to me. I became so powerful just with the knowledge that God had given me. I was bold. I never imagined talking in front of people. My hands were sweating. I'm an introvert. I'm still an introvert. And to this day, my husband, you ain't no introvert. And I said, yes. And now he sees it sometimes when, but being an introvert, I never would have imagined myself doing news interviews or being on stages or doing anything like that. And I remember so well, when God started to speak to me and tell me that I was going to actually be a speaker, I was like, who? I don't talk in front of people. So, I think I kind of, in a sense, made a mockery of it. But I would go to my coworkers' offices and I would pretend like I was on stage and I would say, let me tell you about what happened. I used to work at this job and this is how they treated people. And I would just pretend. And I would pretend for so long until I actually started to believe that I could be a speaker. Mm-hmm. That's why I say mindset, the words that you speak matter, so even if you just playing. Because y'all be playing saying I'm broke. Stop saying that because you're going to be broke. And broke for is real. More than physically having the money. It's a mindset. Yeah. Because there are things that God can do for you, and you may not even physically have the resources, but you may not physically have it, but you're connected to someone that can make it happen. Mm-hmm. And so I think on this journey of that journey, I always tell people, take the risk while you're young, because why wait for the right time? Because it'll never, ever come.
No such thing as that.
Never.
No such thing as coincidence and no such thing as the right time. Because there's so many variables that are always changing that will always be considered an inconvenience. Like somebody gonna get sick, somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's just gonna always be something. And so yeah, you have to definitely bet on you while you are young, while the risk is not, it may be big, but it's not as you get older, the risk becomes greater.
Yes.
Like, you know, you have more assets, more liabilities in some people's cases. You got kids, relationships, things that, you know, can change the trajectory of where you're going. And so I think that is so true, to do it while you are young. Take the risk.
And I want to piggyback on that because my husband said something and I didn't get it until later. And when God gave me my vision of my purpose and everything that I was doing and all the risks that I was taking, and my husband says, this wasn't a part of the plan. And at first I got mad, and I was mad for a very long time. I was like, he don't support me, you know. But I later realized that we're so busy trying to wait for our spouse and our husband, and I'm going to do this, but be working on you and your purpose before you even meet your husband. So that when you meet them, the expectation is set, baby, this is who I am, and either you're going to accept it or you're going to leave it. Yep. And, you know, now, like, my husband gets it, but, you know, there were years when we were at odds about what God was telling me. And so I think that again, that goes back to waiting. When I get married, I'm going to do this. No, work on you. Like, the biggest investment is you. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the husband, the kids, the whoever you're waiting for to be an asset to you, and you be the asset to you. Get in your Bible and form that relationship with God so that he can speak to you.
Yeah, that is so true. I think we do as women. I think that's a thing where we just, sometimes society has made us think that marriage is like the pinnacle. It's the end all be all. And if I'm not married by this age, you know, then am I considered a failure? Have I succeeded? What have I done with my life? If I didn't go to college, all these things kind of cloud the mind of women, in my opinion. And then when you add Black on top of that, that's another thing that's added onto that. And so it's important to go ahead and start to form the foundation, like build your foundation, which is you, so that when the person comes, yes, they already know, oh, she flying to these different states for podcasts, or she's got, you know, speaking engagements already, so I have to get in where I fit in. Right. You know what I'm saying? I have to become a part of that. And so because she's already has this in full swing, she's already building it, it's already built, and she's known around the world. And so definitely do not wait on a man. Do not wait on a partner. Don't wait on kids. Don't wait on family. And if you have a dream, my favorite song lyric is "It Was All a Dream," because I believe that everything starts there. Everything starts as a dream and as a thought and as a what if and as a, oh, I could do that, or I could see myself doing that. So I have a lot of "It Was All a Dream" around my house. But whatever the dream is, like, don't stop until you see it. I think for me in these last couple of weeks, I just got back from New York last week, and then I'm going to Denver this coming week for the podcast, which started as literally a dream. It wasn't nothing that I was like, I could say, like, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a podcaster, or I wanted to have my own show, or I wanted to, it was nothing like that. The podcast actually started because I wanted to highlight the women who were doing something for the festival. And so it was just going to be Chattanooga women, like, you know, come in, talk about your event. What is your niche, or what is your expertise? And I can't remember Miss Christina Johnson. She was on VH1 Atlanta Exes. She used to be married to CeeLo Green. And when I wrote my first book, when I turned 25, I had sent her a message and she never opened it. And so something told me and I know it was God, to reach out to her again. And so when I reached out to her, she immediately was like, yes, I'll do it. So I went to Atlanta to interview her as my first celebrity interview. And she was like, I have some friends. They need to be on the podcast. And I'm just like, wait, what? And so she like connected me to 3 more people. And then the lady that I went to talk to in New York, she used to be married to Usher, and she used to be in the music industry. She was a music executive. And she's also like, I have like 5 people. And so like it's just snowballing into something that you like, I never thought this would have been the thing. You know what I mean? Like I had my plan and okay, so I'm building this business, and and even closing that chapter, it was kind of bittersweet because I'm like, dang, this business introduced me to like the next level of living for me. It took me from like the paycheck to paycheck. I was working in corporate America, but then to like bet on myself, and for that to be the thing that helps me take care of my family and pay bills for other people and be able to sow into other people's lives and pay for logos and websites for other women. It just kind of, I'm like, dang, so this is like the era that I thought it was going to be like to take me around the world. But God is like, girl, you have no idea. Yes. You have no idea.
Yes.
Have you had an experience like that where it's just like, I thought it was going to be this, but like your husband said, this was not part of the plan?
I've always, with being an introvert, I've never really been in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
I was never really in the spotlight just because of my personality. And so I actually, when I started asking God to show me my purpose, I didn't think that it would turn into all of this.
Mm-hmm.
My initial thing was that I just wanted to serve people. And I was doing an interview one day, and the lady said that she needed a type of milk for her child, her baby, that was not sold in stores. And I said, man, like, what if there was like a community group where like somebody would say like, hey, I have this, I can give it to you.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, Lord, just show me how to do it. Like, there's resources that I have, and I want to share all of these resources that I have, but also connect to people that are just in the community. They don't have an organization, but they just want to give. And so I started that group, and I mean, it grew so quickly. And it's like about 20,000 people in the group. I don't really even have to run the group. It's something that I did out of my heart for the community. And once I started that group, it just kind of grew from there, of people just pouring back in. When I say the group is just love, that's all it is. There's nothing else behind it other than that. And that's how I got my first news interview, was through creating that group. And after that, and then I would share my resources about like budgeting and credit. And then after that, like, people start asking me, hey, can you work with me? Can I hire you? So I was always scared to start a business, because every time I feel like I would do a business plan or whatever, I never thought it would work. Like, although I had degrees, I didn't really have the mindset that I could actually ever be a successful business person. So I say that to people that don't feel like they came from a family where you have been able to experience or see someone in that industry. Sometimes you are the blueprint, and being the blueprint is not easy. It's been a very hard journey. I've really had to be a blueprint through it all. But then when I look at my daughter, I see how much it's been worth it, because she's a trailblazer. At 19, she's accomplished so much. And, she doesn't allow any guy or anything to distract her from her purpose. So even that, I feel like just being a trailblazer in my family for entrepreneurship. It's a difference between having a hobby and actually being an entrepreneur. And I feel that I have been a trailblazer for my family in that sense.
We love it. We love it. We love it. All right, we're going to play one more. Let's see. And I didn't take the ones. That was mine. Let me try to find yours.
Did it fall?
Nope, this is it right
here. The question is, how do you define success right now? Honestly, purpose is it. You know, I've never experienced such the most fulfilling feeling ever is purpose. Like, it's one of those things where even if you were not making money, you would still be happy about the work that you're doing. You still feel like you're making an impact. And so success to me is being able to operate in my God-given purpose and being able to see other people benefit from me operating in my God-given purpose. And I feel that it's inspired so many other people that were, you know, I said it earlier, but there was somebody waiting on me, like Latoya Whitfield, not anybody else to talk to them about purpose. And when I think about my mentee, you know, Kiara, and she talks about how, you know, she said, I feel like, yes, I still would have been successful. You know, eventually I would have got there. I would have gotten to do everything that God called me to do. She was like, but meeting you has transformed my life and put me in rooms that I never would have thought that I would have been in. And so just to hear her say those things and seeing the impact that it has made on her and my daughter and so many other amazing women that I'm connected to, that's success for me.
Right. That is success for Miss Latoya Whitfield. Let's see. What's your purpose pusher? What fuels you to keep going? What fuels me to keep going? I think there's always little breadcrumbs along the way that allow me to really like be introspective in certain areas. Whether it's a woman or a girl saying, thank you, I needed this event, or I didn't have X, Y, and Z, but now since, you know, meeting you, I was connected with this person, or it just be those little kind of those moments that kind of fuel me. I think here recently, there's a song by Jasmine Sullivan called, oh, Lord, is it called Stand Up? I think it's called Stand Up. It was from the Teal soundtrack. And it says, I'm counting on you, you're counting on me. And one morning I woke up and I just felt the heaviness of Brown Girls Can. And I'm like, dang, this it's not just about one person. And so it's like that morning I felt this person like, oh, I need this event, or oh, I need this resource, or oh, and it just was like, the reason why it was so heavy is because it's connected to so many different people. Like when Brown Girls Cans wins, it's a win for everybody because I'm pulling different people along with me. And so just those little breadcrumbs kind of keep me pushing, keep me going, keep me moving. And so if I could tell, well, I'm going to let you finish this statement. I am proof that brown girls can blank. Latoya Whitfield is proof that brown girls can
operate in their God-given purpose and be successful.
Boom. Operate in her God-given purpose and be successful. Oh, Black women, we be really doing it.
We do.
We really be out here pushing purpose, moving products, starting businesses, having babies, getting back to it, being wives, being moms, just doing all the things. And so I am so honored to be going down to Huntsville, Alabama for the Dare to Dream Awards happening when?
September 20th.
September 20th. Can you give us a little bit more information? Can they get tickets?
Yes, so you can actually go to daredreamawards.org to actually grab your tickets. We're super excited about it, and let me tell you, you want to get your ticket before they sell out, because I know it will. It sells out every year. And if you would like to be a sponsor, you can also find that information on there as well. So daretodreamawards.org.
All right, y'all. Make sure you get your ticket. Be in the room. It's going to be a lovely, lovely, lovely night. I cannot wait. I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to get cute. I'm ready to meet all the people. I'm ready to celebrate, ready to clap, ready to do all the things with some amazing Black women who are doing some amazing things. Amazing. All right, so let's cheers one last time. We had a great episode.
Yes, it was a great conversation.
Yes. An amazing episode. Cheers. That is so good.
It is.
All right, y'all. Until the next episode, this is Brown Girls Can, the podcast. We're out. Thanks for vibing with us on Brown Girls Can, the podcast. If you felt this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your girl gang. You can catch us on social media on Instagram at Brown Girls Can, the podcast, and on Facebook at Brown Girls Can. And remember, you are already everything you are becoming. So until next time, keep showing up, glowing up, and choosing you. Always remember that you can do anything.